This video will give an overview of the housing renewal process at Belmont University. The housing renewal process is the process where students are given an automatically generated time slot in order to choose their housing assignment for the next year through our online housing portal. Selecting a space will assign the student to that space for the fall semester. Before we get started, I want to direct you to your best possible resource for all things housing renewal. Navigate to my.belmont.edu/renewal for instructions, videos, and more on this entire process, including how to pair with a roommate and how to select a room. Belmont requires all undergraduate students to live on campus unless they have earned more than 60 credit hours or are 21 years old by the beginning of the fall semester, if they are married or have children residing with them, or if they are living at home with a parent or approved family member over the age of 25. Students are also not required to live on campus if they are studying away or abroad in a Belmont-sponsored program. If you do not meet one of these exemption requirements, you are required to live on campus. Everyone currently living on campus is initially eligible to renew their housing. Students with less than 64 attempted credit hours at the end of the spring semester will be automatically entered and given a time slot unless they cancel. Rising juniors, rising seniors, and students currently abroad opted into this process earlier this semester. If you need to opt out of the process before selecting a space, you can do so by filling out a housing cancellation request in your housing portal in My Belmont. If you're not required to live on campus, you won't be penalized for removing yourself from the process before selecting a space. You will be given a time slot to enter the selection portal and select an available space. Time slots are randomly generated within each classification. Each classification is based on the number of credit hours anticipated at the end of the spring semester. The classification breakdown is as follows. Students with more than 94 earned hours at the end of the spring semester will be considered seniors. Students with 64 to 93 earned hours will be juniors. 47 to 63 earned hours will place students in the first grouping of sophomores. 30 to 46 earned hours will put them in the second grouping of sophomores, and all students with less than 30 earned hours will be in the freshman grouping. It's important to stress that students with more credit hours within the same classification may not necessarily have an earlier time slot, since these draw times are randomly generated within each grouping. For example, someone with 70 credit hours may have a later time slot than someone with 60 credit hours. Both students will be considered juniors, and all juniors will have random time slots. Students do not have to have a roommate to enter the selection process. However, students may pair themselves with one potential roommate if they choose. A video outlining this process is on My Belmont. Your roommate request must be a current student who has opted into the renewal process, so they should also have a time slot. Off-campus students or incoming transfer students are not allowed to be selected as roommates during the process. The student with the earliest time slot should be made the group leader. The group leader will use their time slot to assign both students at their assigned time, so only the group leader has to complete the process. If you are paired with a roommate, you have to assign your roommate before moving forward. If there are not enough beds available for you and your roommate in your chosen room, you will either have to delete your roommate group to choose that room, or simply find another space with 2 beds available. Here is the timeline for completing the housing renewal process. During the week of March 17th, we highly encourage you to attend a floor meeting in your building, which will cover this information in depth and allow you to ask any questions you may have. On Monday, March 24th, you will receive an email with your time slot and further instructions for completing the process. Also on this day, you can begin pairing yourself in the system with a roommate if you choose. Housing selection will be held beginning April 1st until after the final time slot has occurred, online via the housing portal. It will take place daily between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. and will be inaccessible outside of these times. Students can log on at their assigned time or any time after, as long as the process is active to select a space. Once a space is selected, students may not change their selection through the portal. As a reminder, there is a new housing portal beginning in fall 2025. You will access the housing renewal by clicking the star icon from the Launchpad in My Belmont. Here's a glimpse of what you will see in the housing renewal process. Once you are able to access the housing portal for selection, once your time slot is active, you'll re-enter your housing portal, click Housing Renewal, and re-enter the application you've previously started. You may need to click through some screens, but you'll need to get down to this room selection tab. So it's going to have me revisit my roommate pairing choices. And then I'm in the room selection tab. So on the right hand side of the screen, you can see all available rooms on campus. So if no filters are clicked, you'll see absolutely every single apartment space and suite space on campus with beds available, and you'll be able to see exactly how many beds are available as well. You can narrow your choices by room type, area of campus, or by locations. So I want to live in Dickens Hall, so I'm going to narrow my options to Dickens Hall and to specifically 5-bedroom apartments. So I'm going to choose this 5-bedroom apartment option. So I'm going to live in Dickens 300. There are 5 spaces available. I'm going to assign myself to the very first bed. I'm not able to move forward until I assign my roommate as well. So if there was only 1 space available in Dickens 300, I would have to unpair myself with that roommate or leave my roommate group in order to see it. So I would have to go back to this other screen. However, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to assign Olivia to the second space and assign both of us to Dickens 300. I get a little confirmation screen, and then once I click through all the confirmations, I will get to this application status complete screen. We'll get to see everybody who is housed in our apartment, and the process is complete.
Please note that with almost 4,000 students living on campus, it is impossible to accommodate the living requests of every student. With that being said, please anticipate not getting your first choice of living arrangements. Please make sure to have backup plans. Additionally, Residence Life will absolutely not tolerate coercion, intimidation, bullying, or any otherwise unwelcome behavior relating to the housing selection process. Any report of such can result in immediate loss of campus housing privileges.
If you are required to live on campus and you do not participate in this process, you will be assigned an available space at the conclusion of the process. If you are not required to live on campus and you choose not to participate, you will not be given a space. If you would still like to live on campus, you can be given the opportunity to reapply or be put on a waiting list for housing, and housing will not be guaranteed. If you do not plan to live on campus in the fall, whether you're graduating, studying abroad, or simply choosing to live off campus, we urge you to submit a cancellation as soon as possible. If you choose to cancel after you've already selected a space on campus, you may be issued an $800 cancellation fee anytime after selecting a space up until May 31st. For the additional refund and fee schedule, please see the table located in the Housing Occupancy Agreement. Here's a list of complexes that will be available for you to choose from. As a reminder, freshman complexes are not available during the renewal process. We know that especially going through this process for the very first time can be overwhelming. Again, we highly encourage all students participating in the process to attend their floor meetings the week of March 17th. Additional resources such as screenshots, videos, and answers to frequently asked questions can be found on My Belmont under Campus Life and Residence Life on the Housing Renewal homepage or at my.belmont.edu/renewal. If you need help during the process, live online assistance will be available. You can access the link to the online chat through My Belmont on the Housing Renewal homepage. It will be available during all active times of the process. Please do not call or walk into the Residence Life office during this time. Due to the volume of students requesting assistance, you will be directed to the online chat. And remember, the people in the online chat are real Residence Life staff members eager to help you. This is not automated.
If you have additional questions, please bring them to your floor meeting, check the FAQ area of the Housing Selection landing page on My Belmont, or reach out to your RD if you have any additional questions. Thank you and best of luck to you as you complete the spring semester.